What's up, traders from around the world? This is Jerremy Alexander Newsome with Real Life Trading, actually broadcasting from the trading floor this afternoon. So we got some traders right now on the floor, chilling, being awesome and amazing. It's 12:41 my time, 1:41 Eastern. Keep in mind, everything I'm about to say is subject to change due to volatility because the markets are still open by the time you get this. Looking at the DIA, and you can see that we've just really been cruising very nicely bullish, really moving hard. And granted, as much as everyone wanted the market to roll over right there, including yours truly, this was the trapping candle that we recognized on the 15th of October, right? Everyone got in bearish, and then the very next day, boom, no thank you. Trapped people and continued higher. So at this particular point in time, what a lot of analysts are going to want to do is go bullish right there, if it happens. So let's say that the DIA does this, right? Comes into here, gets into the all-time high. Don't think it's going to happen specifically, but let's just say it does. Everyone's going to want to hop in bullish right there. That's not the time to go bullish, in my opinion, on the market because it's already made its move. From there, you'd want a pullback, and then you'd want to go bullish on the dip, buy the bounce. You'll start to hear me say that again. So as we go higher, that's what I'm anticipating at some point, right? The weekly chart didn't play out exactly how I thought it would. Again, I thought that we'd get a little bit more of a selling week this particular week. We did continue higher, but that's fine. We did get a lower shadow, so we got a little bit of selling, and that did happen earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday type time frame. So as of right now, that's just my anticipation is if we do pull back and when we bounce, that bounce is likely buyable. Here's the SPY, which is right now at 209.29, and here is the daily chart. So the daily chart, we're just getting some small candles. Again, moving averages are bullish, kind of getting a little bit of a stair-step pattern like that. Volume is declining, and just slightly anticipating if we're going to roll over at some point, and again, buy the bounce. But just keep in mind, if I were to go bullish, I would not be bullish at the all-time highs. So if we continue higher on the S&P, which we probably will just a little bit, I do anticipate a sell-off or some selling at some point. I mean, we really could just keep going up, honestly. At this point, just keep cruising ever so slightly higher, reaching some of these highs up here. Everyone goes bullish, and then we get that retracement. That's very possible. So just be cautious. Here's the IWM. So the IWM did close above a trigger at 116.42. So close above that trigger, 116.42. Pretty good volume, pretty nice size candle, a little bit more bullish than bearish in my opinion. So in the IWM, we have a little bit more ways to go to match the other indices. So if the IWM breaks up into here, make a little bit higher, it could come into the 121, 122 area because really that's what the other markets are doing, the other indices, that they're going a little bit higher. So it's just going to be interesting to kind of keep an eye on it and see what it does. Here's GoPro. GoPro had an amazing bearish gap yesterday. This is a phenomenal bearish gap and go. It is a white candle. The candle had good volume. On Wednesday, it made a higher high, made a higher low, and boom. Gap action. Stock gapped down, trapping anyone who bought there at support, which a lot of people bought there because that was the all-time IPO low. Now we're at an all-time low on GoPro. It's a very strong gap, right? People are trapped. People are emotional. People are scared. I don't know how low GoPro is going to go, but I do think if it breaks the low of today, which I didn't think it was going to, if it breaks the low of yesterday. So I didn't think it'd break the low of yesterday today. I figured it'd be an inside day candle. But if we continue lower on Monday, Tuesday, I think GoPro continues just a smidge bearish. Here's Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR. And right now, I got a nice candle on earnings. It did not open exactly where I wanted it to go bearish. I was looking for an open below here to go bearish, and it just didn't quite make it that low. So for me on Twitter, decent little double bottom type of pattern, breakout, attempt, retest the neckline of this double bottom, and right now it's just kind of battling the 100 simple moving average from the bottom. I think it probably continues to do that, distributes a little bit up in here, and then at some point potentially maybe breaks out. But I'm slightly bullish to neutral on Twitter, just kind of like a buy low general area on it overall. Here's Apple. Of course, I'll try to look at the real life. On the real life stock, if you try to look at Apple every single day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for you guys. Apple, you have a pretty strong resistance at about 121.70, 121.63 in that general area today. I don't know when Apple's going to break out of that, but it did not have a huge earnings gap at all, but it was a bullish earnings gap, right? Black candle, gapped up, trapped some people, broke out of this very strong 120 resistance area, and now it's stuck in between the 200 and the 100. I anticipate it being there for maybe about a week or so, but if it breaks out, I'm bullish on Apple up until about 128, and then, of course, this resistance at about 134 on Apple. Amazon. Still waiting for a pullback on Amazon. Something a little bit more like this to get into a bull put spread or put sales or stock ownerships. But Amazon's bullish. Be bullish. Whatever pullback you get. Not the time to buy right now. All-time high. Has had a huge run up. Buy the bounce, ladies and gentlemen. Google. Same type of thing. Google. A little bit of a black candle today. I'm wanting this to happen on Google. And again, just buy the bounce on Google. More bullish than bearish overall. LinkedIn had a big gap today. LinkedIn was looking at playing it today, bullish, but just I don't really love the location. I think LinkedIn is really way overvalued in my opinion. We were talking about LinkedIn for probably about 10, 15 minutes earlier today in the morning room. You're at a resistance. It is a bullish retest gap, and you can see that there's all kinds of gap action all up in this area. So there's a lot of resistance here on LinkedIn. It did get a really interesting buying pattern from there. A lot of volume on earnings. I don't know what earnings they're having. They did make a little bit of revenue last quarter, but it wasn't sensational. So my thought on LinkedIn is it'll probably hang up in this general area. And if you own shares, you can maybe do some covered calls around the 270, 280. But I'm probably going to stay away from LinkedIn just a little bit. SolarCity is bearish today. Had a huge bearish gap down. And this is my analysis on SolarCity. There's a lot of people are going to be buying to cover on SolarCity down here. At least I thought. And there was a little bit this morning. Very strong gap. I've been bearish on SolarCity. As you guys can see, this was a trigger really back in September. Trigger intraday for longer term bearish swing shares or February put. And I did want to stay in this trade, so the protective calls were there as an insurance position just in case it did continue a little bit higher. Here's why I was a little bit more bearish longer term on SolarCity. It just broke a really strong support, right? Broke the really strong support, retested it, kind of formed a triangle pattern, and gapped down really, really big on earnings. So SolarCity probably going to continue a little bit lower. This is a bearish retest gap, right? It's a black candle gapping down below a support. So wait for the retest, and if it does roll over, you can have a little bit of a bearish perspective on SolarCity. Come on and get your panels. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you have an amazing weekend. It's going to be a Halloween weekend. This is a big weekend for me because Florida and Georgia play each other. I was born and raised in Florida. Born and raised in Georgia. Lived in Florida. I lived in both states for exactly 12 years. Still have family and friends in both states. I didn't go to UGA. I did go to University of Florida. So when the two play, I do have to root Gators, but really my heart's not really broken for either one, regardless of who wins. But it's always a big weekend because I like festivities, I like football, I like hanging out with people. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. Hopefully you guys have an amazing time playing with your family. Nashville weather here is beautiful. Really excited about it. Excited about tonight. Got a few plans with a few friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back Monday for your next free real-life stock review. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade. Have a good week. Bye.